Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. A man assumed to be Abubakar Shekau, the leader of the deadly sect Boko Haram, has published a new video asking his followers to surrender. The group has been waging a 6-year armed campaign in Nigeria's northeast region to build an Islamic state in the area. In the new video, a frail-looking Shekau asks his followers to surrender to save themselves. In another development, the Taraba Police Command has confirmed the arrest of 2 wanted Boko Haram commanders in the state. One of the commanders, Ali Audu, was arrested in Tela Gasso local government area, while the other one, Abdul Mumuni Abdullahi, was captured in Bali local government area. Now, still on the new video, the Nigerian military says it is still carrying out a forensic examination of the video from the leader to ascertain its authenticity. A frail-looking Shekau had in the new video released late Tuesday called on his followers to embrace peace, stop fighting and surrender. The military, however, says despite the video message, there would be no let-off in its offensive against Boko Haram. Troops have succeeded in beating back the insurgents and retaking virtually all the territories they once held. No fewer than 16 female residents of Adamawa State in northeast Nigeria have been kidnapped by the Boko Haram group. Police and local officials say the girls were reportedly kidnapped on Wednesday in Sabon-Gari-Madagali area of Adamawa State. A team of police officials have now been sent to the area to search for them. In the past, the Boko Haram group has kidnapped hundreds of women and children, most notably the over 200 schoolgirls kidnapped in 2014 in Chibok, Borno State. Till date, the girls are still yet to be found. The European Commission's humanitarian arm, ECHO, says people uprooted by Boko Haram violence in northeast Nigeria are leaving host communities and moving to camps for internally displaced persons as food becomes increasingly scarce. According to the UN Office for the Coordination of Human Rights Affairs, 7 million people in that part of the country do not have enough food to eat. It's added that a lack of food could drive people to desperate measures, including selling their possessions and trading sex for food. Boko Haram has displaced millions of Nigerians, even though the government is now encouraging the displaced people to return home. There are still fears among some displaced persons that the sect members could strike their homes again. The Code of Conduct Tribunal has dismissed Senate President Bukola Saraki's appeal to stop his trial. The Senate President had last week, through his lead counsel, Kanu Agabi, a senior advocate of Nigeria, filed a motion challenging the jurisdiction of the courts to try him. However, at the resumed hearing on Thursday, the CCT chairman Danladi Umar dismissed the application. In his ruling, Umar said there was no breach of any law. He then adjourned the trial till April 5th for the hearing.
We have always contended that the tribunal had no jurisdiction. Tribunal has ruled that it has jurisdiction. We respect that ruling and we are coming back for trial. We are just as anxious as the prosecution to go on with this case because it affords the defendant the opportunity to exonerate himself. In our country today, many people have been accused falsely and they have no opportunity to exonerate themselves. Today, that opportunity is afforded the Senate President and he will use it.
We thoroughly argue the issues and I'm sure the applicant will also know he had the full knowledge that the weakness of his case. So I do not expect any other thing. So it's a good development, is the point we have been making. Now you cannot be relying on what the 1979 Constitution says, and then you want it to override the 1999 Constitution. It can never be done. Tinubu's case was decided based on 1979 Constitution, and the tribunal, having realized that more than 3 years ago, upturned their own decision and said that they made mistake in there was an error, and that was given without considering the 1999 Constitution. The tribunal had in 2 other cases overturned that decision. So why should they then follow the decision that was given? What about the other 2 cases that they did not follow Tinubu before our home in 2012 and in 2014? So these are the things we are saying. It's not. We should, if the tribunal discovered that it is in error, should they follow that error? It has corrected it in 2 other judgments. So should they then follow it because it happens to be a special case?
Spokesperson of the PDP, Olisa Metu, has again insisted Justice Okonabank of a federal high court in Abuja disqualify himself from presiding over his trial. Metu on Thursday filed two separate applications, one of which asked the judge to quit his case, while the other application asked the court to adjourn to enable the Court of Appeal rule on his application for stay of proceedings in his trial. Metu is standing trial on a 7-count charge bordering on criminal breach of trust, corruption, and money laundering.
I also called the attention of the court to two applications pending on the side of the defendants. The first application is for the court to disqualify himself for reasons we stated in our application. And the second one was for the court to stay proceedings in the matter to abide the application for stay that we filed. In fact, there was an adjournment sine die, to abide by the stay of proceedings we filed at the Court of Appeal. Having entered appeal at the Court of Appeal, the court considered fully all the arguments and found merit in the fact that the prosecution needed time to react to the applications. The matter has been adjourned to the 8th of April, and on the 8th we'll be here.
Indigenes of Agatu community in Benue State have appealed to the government to assist the community in its efforts to rebuild the region after the deadly attacks by suspected Fulani herdsmen. Hundreds were killed and several others were left homeless as farmers in the community clashed with Fulani herdsmen. Describing the attacks, the indigenes compared the event to an invasion and called on the government to intervene on behalf of the people.
It was very unfortunate that when we are home here, we don't expect anything. But later we just see Fulani begin pursue people anyhow. That's why we leave the house before them burn the house like this. They kill some many of our boys, kill many of our men here before we come back.
On the very day Fulani came, they came to Okokulu first of all, kill many people, destroy houses, and the following day they stepped to Agatu here. And that very day, the very day they came to Aku here, they came with two helicopters at the same time. And after the helicopter landed, much more Fulani began to come. And as they came, they began to kill people, coming out with bombs, blasting everywhere. Even right to Agugbe, they went to Agugbe there, that was the same day, destroying house, killing people. Right now we need government to interfere because we are in Nigeria. Because since these things have been happening, we have not been even seeing the intervention of government. If it is not for a few days that they deploy policemen and soldier men and policemen to Agatu, now we thank God for God because God are using them for us, chasing the Fulani. Because right as I'm telling you now, they went to Agugbe and chased the Fulani across the river. So tomorrow I believe they will still do the same. But the Fulani herdsmen right now, they are still in Agatu, destroying a lot of things.
The Inspector General of Nigeria's Police Force, Solomon Arase, has deployed officers to Agatu local government area of Benue State after suspected herdsmen recently killed 9 people in the community. IGP Arase visited the area where he assessed the extent of damage caused during the clash and the impact on the Agatu people of the state. A statement issued by a spokesperson of the police force, ACP Olabisi Kolawole, in Abuja said, quote, based on his assessment, the IGP immediately deployed 2 units of police mobile force to the area. Among those killed were 2 police officers. Nigeria's oil industry unions have met with the federal government to prevent oil majors from laying off staff following the drastic fall in crude oil prices. The 2 major unions, NUPENG and Pengasan, held a brief strike 2 weeks ago after the government said it would split NNPC into separate units. The plan is part of reforms by President Muhammadu Buhari to end corruption and mismanagement in the oil industry. Both unions suspended the action after the federal government said it would listen to their demands, which they laid out at a meeting with President Buhari. NUPENG head Igwe Achese said the meeting had been successful as the president has assured the bodies will be a key part of the restructuring process. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says the lingering fuel scarcity in the country will soon come to an end despite the Minister of State for Petroleum Ibe Kachiko, saying the situation may persist for 2 more months. Kachiko had said he had no magic wand to make fuel available overnight, and so fuel queues might not be completely eliminated until about 2 months. But the NNPC, in a swift reaction on Thursday, said the minister's statement was misrepresented, adding that the corporation was doing everything possible to end the lingering fuel scarcity. Police authorities in Nigeria say its service commission has begun the recruitment of 10,000 personnel into the Nigerian police force. It will be the first recruitment into the Nigerian police force in more than 5 years. Mike Okiro, chairman of the commission, has warned that there would be no shortcut into the Nigerian police. The statement said that the portal would be open to the public on April 1st, 2016. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll look at business and sports stories. Don't go away.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching the Funny White Man Show, which is the biggest, the brightest, and the most entertaining show in Africa.
Funny white man, funny white man, funny white man, but this way you talk, it's too much. Give me 5,000 man, that's you. It's too much. So you get it like, make you move along the street. Ah, yeah, me should like there, I'm going girl. You know, my own people, actually. Yeah, fine, it's fun. I enjoy it. And I'm one of those very few. I'm forever taking it personal. I will say 160 million Nigerians are corrupt. How? My brother, I'm looking for you.
Yeah, but it's a growth, and this is the time to build business. I know the pitfalls, I know what to do and what not to do. But there are months where you get business and months.
You know how we do, how we train them. We do the way they do.
Hello, you're welcome. You're watching Trending Matters on the Funny White Man Show. Of course, they will bring you trending issues just to entertain and tickle your fancy.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. Nigeria's Naira on Thursday strengthened slightly against the dollar on the parallel market. The Naira was quoted at 3.20 to the dollar on Thursday, compared with 3.26 last week, spurred by tight liquidity and increased dollar supply. The official rate, however, remained steady around the 197 level. Just last month, the acute scarcity of dollar made the Naira trade within a range of 385 to 400. Nigeria's Minister of State for Petroleum, Ibe Kachiko, says he expects oil producers to agree a supply freeze at a meeting in Doha next month. The meeting is widely expected to stabilize crude oil prices, even if Iran does not join the meeting. Qatar has invited OPEC members and major non-OPEC producers to meet on April 17th to agree a freeze production. This follows an initial deal in February between Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Venezuela and non-OPEC member Russia to hold supply at January levels. It was not clear whether all 13 OPEC members, including Iran, would attend the Doha meeting. Oil fell below $40 a barrel on Thursday, heading for the biggest weekly slide in 2 months. This was dented by record-high stockpiles in the United States and a stronger dollar. Brent crude was down 48 cents at $39.99 a barrel, while U.S. crude was down 57 cents at $39.22 a barrel. Former Bosnian Serb leader Radova Karadzic has been convicted of genocide and war crimes over the 1992-95 war and sentenced to 40 years in jail. UN judges in The Hague found him guilty of 10 of 11 charges, including genocide over the 1995 Srebrenica massacre. 70-year-old Karadzic is the most senior political figure to face judgment over the violent collapse of Yugoslavia. His case is being seen as one of the most important war crime trials since World War II. Paris attack suspect Salah Abdulsalam has changed his mind and will not fight extradition from Belgium to France, his lawyers have confirmed. Salah Abdulsalam is one of the key suspects in November's Paris attacks, which left 130 people dead. He was arrested and wounded in a police raid on Friday in Brussels. On Tuesday, suicide bombs in Brussels killed 31 people and injured so many others. The attacks are thought to be linked to the Paris attacks network and Abdulsalam's arrest. So-called Islamic State militants have claimed responsibility for the attacks. Nigerian winger Ahmed Musa has handed the Super Eagles captain ban to Chelsea player John Mikel Obi. Musa was made captain of the Super Eagles squad by former coach Sunday Olise, an action some say made Nigeria's most capped player Vincent Enyama retire from international football. Flanked by interim coach Samson Siasia and new captain Mikel Obi, Musa made the announcement at a pre-match press conference held on Thursday before the Egypt clash. Dutch football legend Johan Cruyff has died at the age of 68 following a battle with cancer. The former Barcelona and Ajax star died on Thursday surrounded by his friends and family in Barcelona 5 months after he was diagnosed with cancer. Cruyff, who won the Ballon d'Or in 1971, 1973 and also in 1974, is widely regarded as one of the greatest footballers of all time. He won 36 major honors as a coach and player for Barcelona and Ajax. Former Sunderland winger Adam Johnson has been sentenced to 6-year imprisonment after being found guilty of sexual activity with a minor. Johnson was found not guilty on the charge relating to the oral sex claim, but guilty by a majority verdict of 10-2 on a charge of sexual touching. At the sentence hearing on Thursday, the judge said the former footballer had shown no remorse throughout the trial. He will be taken to spend the first night in a prison cell on Thursday. Well, that's all we have on news now. We thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.